Yeah, I also am very skeptical of Shams' reporting and his agenda these days. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the Blazers are better than the Nuggets now?
That is such a good question because I saw that and the first thing I thought was, ooh, we just moved up a spot in the playoff race.
How does this take make you feel? Is Jonathan Kuminga the Ja Morant of wings?
Ooh, nice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Blazers Are Cool show. I'm Jethro here with Brad. We're coming to you on a sunny Thursday afternoon. We actually had some NBA news drop yesterday with the Peyton Watson trade, something that's been in the works for a while, I guess. Everyone knew he was going to get a new contract of some sort, but the Denver Nuggets agreed to give him to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Portland Trail Blazers, our favorite team, was actually mentioned by Shams in a report following that. Brad, Brad, hello, by the way.
Hello. I was going to say, give me my goddamn hello before we say anything.
I'm just so excited to talk about Peyton
Watson. Yeah.
It's just the NBA news injecting into my veins.
Yeah.
We're finally getting that little crumb. The Blazers are mentioned in the Shams reporting part of this whole saga. First, before I read that out, what was your initial reaction when you saw that Peyton Watson was traded?
I think my first reaction was Shams knew that we were running low on things to talk about. So he was like, I'll throw the Blazers name into this so that the Blazers Are Cool boys can have a topic for the next episode. That was my initial thought. But no, dude, I mean, kind of the same as always. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Is kind of my initial reaction because I think he would have been a really good addition to this team. I've been kind of surprised, at least by the places I've read from Blazer fans, that they are like that was not something they were really all that interested or not willing to give up a first round pick for. But which to me was mind boggling. I can't think of a guy who is more worthy of like a first and a second, which is what they got for him, than Peyton Watson, who is a 23-year-old who is a two-way player, 15 a game, shoots 41 from three. Like he's a perfect player for this team. And I also wasn't totally convinced we actually were trying to get him.
Just because
as we've talked about, I'm not sure exactly what it feels like a classic Olshey move of every time someone was like, oh, LeBron signs with Lakers, Blazers reached out. It's like, okay, maybe. I don't think LeBron wanted to take our vet minimum though. So I think it was probably a situation like that.
Yeah, I also am very skeptical of Shams' reporting and his agenda these days. Because I don't know if you noticed, someone pointed this out, that like in the Shams and Woj bombs, you used to just see like the actual thing that's happened. Like it'd be like 8 words. It'd be like Woj be like Peyton Watson traded. And it'd be like that he getting out immediately. Now Shams is like, here's the tweet. I'll read it.
On a cold winter's evening,
exactly.
The Nuggets and the Clippers had some interesting and engaging discussions over forward Peyton. Yeah, no, exactly.
This one this is what the Blazers were name dropped in. If you guys haven't seen. So Shams goes, Denver, Cleveland, and Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul and agents Lucas Newton and Calvin Andrews finalized the new home Wednesday in a difficult, restricted free agency landscape, with Watson's reps navigating interest and offers from the Bucks, Trailblazers, and Clippers before narrowing on the guaranteed $88 million deal with the Cavaliers. And it's a graphic of Peyton Watson with money flying all around him. It's like...
You're right. Honestly, I'm so used to that like nonsense that you're right. The fact that the top reporter is tweeting just like these weird long form shout outs to the agents along with a AI picture of Peyton Watson surrounded with money. It's like, what is happening, dude?
Literally making it rain around Peyton Watson.
Yeah. What the hell? What do you think what is the point of the agent part?
So, well, obviously Shams has a great relationship with all of these agents and they're all like helping each other out, right? And so that's why I think when I read this, like, oh, the Blazers were involved, but we failed yet again. It's like, I am annoyed that if we had even an inkling of interest in Peyton Watson, that we couldn't get it done because of, I don't know, maybe we couldn't move off of the Shaden contract, or maybe we weren't willing to give up a first round pick, which again, like we said, we think is worth it. But I don't think it's worth our breath of being like, oh, the Blazers tried so hard and they struck out. It's like, I think there's a good chance Shams like heard Joe Cronin say to someone's friend's mother that Peyton Watson is a good player. Exactly. And then Shams is taking that like, look at all these teams who wanted Peyton Watson. Rich Paul, moved them all out of the way and got him his deal.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So I think it's like, yeah, I mean, I think we probably were interested. I think every team in the NBA was probably like, we could take Peyton Watson.
Sure.
I just don't see the Shams name drop of us as like a reason to be like, wow, the Blazers tried really hard and struck out.
Exactly.
It's like, it could be any level of, again, interest in what we had in him. So I see that too, though. But again, I would have loved Peyton Watson on this team. Like, I am bummed that we didn't make it work, because I think, a Peyton Watson for Shaden Sharp swap would have been a really good. And this is, I'm not trying to say this in a way to slander Shaden at all. I just think that for what we have at guard depth, for what we need at forward depth, for both Shaden and the Blazers, I think him going to a new place and putting Peyton Watson, who's taller, plays forward, that would have been much better for us, and again, much better for Shaden's career even if it was kind of a logjam in ending up on the Clippers, like Max Strus ended up being moved for. I think that would have been great. So I am bummed it didn't happen. I'm not extra bummed that we were name dropped in the Shams tweet about it, but I mean, maybe I guess I'm at least glad that Cronin was engaged enough to be showing some interest and is still working the phones. That's a positive spin, right?
It's also a nice reminder that we're not the Nuggets right now. They're kind of, because they're going with the Dame era Blazers approach to team building. Yep. It's like, what if we made our team worse while having our best player ever? Like, would that be an interesting way to approach building a team? So yeah, clearly they, whatever they're doing it's not in the long it makes me happy to be a Blazer fan.
Sure. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the Blazers are better than the Nuggets now?
That is such a good question, because I saw that and the first thing I thought was, we just moved up a spot in the playoff race. I would say we could be comparable. Obviously, they have Jokic, right? You know what I mean? Who alone is worth, I don't know. If you surrounded him with 11 of you and me, I think that's still a 41-win team.
Right.
Can you imagine the open looks we would get? And we'd go like drain like 15% of them. It'd be awesome. So like we
2 of 12 every game.
Yep. That's our signature stat line, because they won 54 games last year. Losing Watson probably doesn't bring them below 50, but maybe. I see them as like a 48 to 52 win team, probably closer to 48. And I see us as hopefully a team that's close to 48 wins. So yeah, I mean, I think it puts us kind of absolutely in the running for that to be a team we could maybe pass in the playoff rankings.
Well, I think like I see it as like if our full team went up against their full team tomorrow, I think they would beat us in a 7-game series for sure. But their margin of error as far as health goes is
minuscule.
Super slim, whereas I feel like we have pretty good depth. So I just feel like over the course of an 82-game regular season, I feel pretty strongly that it's like, I don't know, 50-50 for who might have the better record. I truly feel like that, because we have some, like, again, if Denny or Tumani get hurt, we are in some big trouble. But if any of their starters, like if Jokic or Jamal Murray go down for an extended period of time, that is a nightmare for them now. Their bench is really bad. Like, they're relying on like some second round picks to to follow through, which is kind of what they've been doing for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I also just remember like last offseason, everyone was like, holy crap, Denver absolutely killed the offseason. Like they got Tim Hardaway and Cameron Johnson and Valanciunas. Like everyone was giving them like A+ offseason credit. And then obviously they had an injury riddled season as well. Came into the playoffs not quite right, but got absolutely shellacked by a wonky Timberwolves team without their best players. So like I think an objectively bad offseason could really bury them. We'll see. I am glad Peyton Watson went to the West or the East, excuse me. The Clippers are a really funny team now with like 13 point guards and wings, and then Brook Lopez and Yannick Conan Niederhauser as their only two centers. So I would love to maybe pick up Max Strus from them. I thought he was also good.
That would have been awesome. Yeah, I just wish we would get. It's not even the Peyton Watson thing. I do wish we would be the third team in some of these trades sometimes, because I feel like we just so never are. So that would be nice. I do want to ask you, because I mean, for me, my opinion on the Ja trade is just ever changing, and every time there's a move like this that I feel like we miss out on wing depth, it kind of reminds me of. Or not reminds me, but has me reassess how I feel about the Ja trade. Where do you currently stand and how you feel about that move and John Morant being on this team?
It hasn't changed a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think like a reason I think getting Ja helps us be a regular season team. In theory, so again, so long as we don't lose Denny or Tumani, because that's where we're thin, as we've been describing. But I really do think we learned it last year, like having depth at point guard and shooting guard, and just being able to be fast and athletic during the regular season, which I do think Ja overall helps compared to Jeremy and Chris. It's a good thing for that part. It's just so hard in my mind to think that we can like make this work as a like, holy crap, these guys all fit together well. Like I think it just takes so much chemistry to succeed in the NBA today, and I just don't see it having that like top tier amount of chemistry. But I think he's a great insurance plan for like when Dame's got to sit a couple extra minutes or a couple extra games, or Drew inevitably probably misses 15 games. Like Shaden's had his problem with hamstring injuries. Like I think one more body in that shooting guard, point guard rotation isn't a bad thing at all, and Ja's a great one. But it's like if everything is going well, how high is our ceiling with him?
I think I hate the move again.
You're back to that.
Because I've been going back and forth a lot on it. Missing out on Peyton Watson. I don't know if missing out's really the right word. Like we said, who knows how much we were really in it. But I realized like every time those moves are made, I'm like, God damn it! Like we didn't get a guy who could actually make this roster work again, because I just can't believe how imbalanced our roster is right now. And I can't believe that and it's again, not disrespect towards Ja or not thinking he can turn it around, but the fact that we looked at last playoffs, last offseason, and our solution was to make this roster more imbalanced and worse at shooting, it's still it's back to driving me up the wall. I'll probably change my mind again by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like, dude, it's Ja. If we can get Ja back, we have a guy who is a good enough player to be a leader on a top 3 seed next to Denny, next to Klingon, next to Tumani. However, I hate him next to Dame still, and I hate looking at these lineups and trying to like convince myself they're going to work when even if they could be fun, because I hear that argument like, oh, at least it's going to be fun. Teams are never fun when they're losing. They're never fun. There's no such thing as a fun losing team. We always think, oh, this team, like, it's going to be a lot of highlights, a lot of this, a lot of that. But highlights aren't fun when you're frustratingly losing by 10. You know what I mean? But I'm still hoping for the best. I'm trying to be optimistic about it. But every time we miss out on a forward like Peyton Watson who could fit this team well, I'm reminded how annoying it is that we went for another guard when we're starting Damian Lillard in his comeback next season. It's frustrating, but it'll all work out. We'll all be fine.
It'll be fine. Who hates losing is Thomas Dundon.
Oh, he
So
hates
he
it.
won't. If we start losing with him, I feel like he won't stand for it.
He won't stand for it. He'll then trade Jaw for you do a sign and trade for Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
will be his solution. Do you want Ben Simmons?
No,
I know where I'm getting off track. You don't want Ben Simmons?
No, I don't want Ben Simmons. It's far too gone from being a productive player. But you know who's? I mean,
yeah.
You know who's on people's minds? It's kind of like that last forward that we could pick up that's still got like a little bit of juice as far as he's exciting. Is Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, that's why I brought up Ben Simmons. I was like, let's talk about these remaining dweebs we got. Because dude, how do you feel? I mean, you said no to Ben Simmons, which I think is underratedly something we might do.
I'm not ruling it out as something we could do. I think anything is on the table as far as like make these people dance. Like it's Tom Dundon being like, dance for me, Ben.
Yes,
like you
exactly.
want a contract? Come get one.
I know exactly. It's not. I feel like negotiating with Tom Dundon on anything would be hell.
Yeah.
Even if you're looking for like a vet's minimum, he's going to make it difficult by being like, oh, it's only guaranteed if you make 7 All-Star teams this season.
Yeah.
So what would you do this season? What would so how do you feel about Kuminga? That's another thing I could see us doing, given that like his options are dwindling, and given that it's clear that Dundon likes the high reward type of acquisitions.
How does this take make you feel? Is Jonathan Kuminga the Ja Morant of wings?
Ooh, nice. That's a hilarious question. I see where you're going with that. I think the fact that Ja was once an MVP candidate makes it say no. But in the same, if you only look at the last like 3 years of their career, then yeah, it's a very similar thing of like a young super athlete who might stink and is no one really wants, but I think any team that gets him will absolutely convince themselves it was a great move. Yeah. So yeah, I could, because if we get Kuminga, I'm on board. That's kind of where I'm at. Sure. I don't want him, but if we get him, because again, he's just a guy who would not fit well on this team, but we need forwards. He's a guy who I've barely seen why people think he has all-star potential. I think it's just the athleticism for the most part. But if we get him, I will do what the mental gymnastics that I feel like people have done to love the Ja trade. I'm ready to do that for Kuminga. And I'm ready to do that for Ben Simmons too. I really am. This is extreme bias from me because Ben Simmons is at his peak. I loved Ben Simmons. He was one of my, even the like 2.5 games he played at LSU, I really always loved Ben Simmons. I love just big ball handling guards who can guard every position. I know he can't shoot, but I know that's not a good fit on this team. To complain about Ja Morant not being a shooter than saying I want Ben Simmons is the epitome of hypocrisy. But dude, Ben Simmons, if you move him just to like as a power forward who handles the ball, obviously you can't play. Like imagine a lineup where it's Dame. Or let me do this. What's our worst? If we have Ben Simmons, what's our worst shooting lineup that we can realistically put out on the floor?
Ja, Shaden, Ben Simmons, Rob Will,
and 2
City,
yeah. Like imagine that, dude. Is that not the grossest thing you've ever heard in your life? Disgusting. But if Ben Simmons, who I also always thought that Ben Simmons' issues were obviously a lot of issues in a lot of different ways, but his injuries were underratedly the biggest part of it in my eyes. And I think it just made everything else so much worse. If he's truly, after a year of just dominating the fishing circuit, right? Is that what he's been doing? He's been fishing. I saw he won some like local fishing tournament.
Yeah, I think that's
it was like this thing someone put like the 10,000 lake salmon have won their tournament, and it's like these 2 dweeby looking guys and then Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if those health issues are actually better and he actually did just need a year off, that's not a guy I would be that mad at getting, just because him at his peak was a 16, 8-8 defensive player of the year candidate and all-star. Obviously he's not going to get back to that, but I would not be furious as long as because it'd be a minimum contract. So if we want to go get Ben Simmons, I'm in the 1% of maybe it's not the worst idea.
Yeah, I would be okay with Ben Simmons on a minimum in the sense that I would be okay with anyone on a minimum.
Sure. Yeah.
I think also the like negative, the more I'm kind of done with like bits and negativity around the Blazers. Like I've had enough like bad press for one like I don't know decade in the past couple of months thanks to Dundon. So
yeah,
like a Ben Simmons signing also might drive me up a wall in that regard.
Very true.
Yeah, he's big and has vision.
Yep.
I think that Kuminga, which I think would be I don't know if a little more realistic just because he should still be in the league. I thought Kuminga did some great stuff in the playoffs, honestly, for the Hawks. Like I was impressed with him as kind of a 6-man.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he would really fit to being a role of like a like our 9th, 10th guy.
Sure.
But I do think depth at the forward would be good. I don't think he's a great fit because he can't shoot, and we just again need more shooters. But I do think that his athleticism would be fun in transition, which I feel like we're going to play a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he's just big. He can defend in theory, but
he also would maybe be our like 3rd best shooter. I mean, he shot 34.6% last season on 3 attempts. It's not horrible.
That's solid for us.
For us, it'd be like we just got prime Ray Allen.
Yeah, right.
34%.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we do feel pretty full. I think we don't have a roster spot anymore because of Sohan. But I think Sohan's is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
But I don't think, because again, I think Jonathan Kuminga is a Clutch Sports CEO, Rich Paul athlete.
Yes. Are you ready for that money demographic when we get him for a vet
Blazers for a undisclosed, non-guaranteed contract?
Yeah.
I think what he's looking for is not what's going to fly with what the Blazers are going to offer. So I don't think we're going to get Kuminga. I think any price is, again, I'll take like anyone on a minimum, I guess, but I wouldn't want him for more than 1 year because I think he's only deserving of a 1-year flyer. But I just don't see him buying in on a cheap 1-year deal and then like being engaged enough to make that worth it. So
how do you feel about DeRozan?
I think we've got the team we've got. What?
How do you feel about DeRozan then?
Well, it sounds like DeRozan's going to go to the Nuggets, and
that's what it sounds like.
Watson go.
Yeah, but that's still, I think, also underratedly something that could happen. I don't think it will.
No, that would be insane to add another shooting guard.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Like
is he
that.
6'8" or is he 6'7"? I always remember him being
DeRozan. I thought he was like 6'5".
Oh, he's 6'6". Wow, I don't know why I thought he was bigger than that. Dude, I love
giant
DeMar.
DeRozan figure in your head. I
know. 7'2".
It's actually Kevin
300 pounds. Yeah. Dude, I know. I don't think we're gonna get him anymore, but I would not mind DeMar. I'm also just a huge DeMar. I'm saying so many insane things today about how I want Ben Simmons, DeMar DeRozan, and all these guys. But DeMar DeRozan is like the 14th all-time leading scorer in NBA history.
But he's also like the only guy in the top like fit. What's this? It's some sort of stat where like he has a negative plus minus like every year of his 17-year career besides like 3.
I want to get a button that every time I feel like we're getting too close to saying some nerd BS.
It's like the Staples button, like
exactly
stop or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Nerd.
Nerd, yeah.
Nerd.
Because I've watched decades of DeMar DeRozan dropping 25 to the point where I don't want to hear these Twitter guys be like, actually, he's not the guy who's scored more points than everyone but like 13 people in the history of humanity. Actually, he sucks. It's like, what? What are you talking about? So I'm a DeRozan defender for that.
Sure.
And I'm going to ask you one last guy. Am I wrong? Did I dream? I've been having like dreams lately about like the most random, boring BS that I don't know if this was actually a news thing. Was Zach LaVine not part of like buyout discussions for a minute? Or did he pick up his contract?
He was like rumored by like the Calcies and whatever.
Okay, player option exercise. Never mind.
Yeah. No, I think it was too much because it's like a $45 million buyout. And they're like, we actually might need you to play for us.
Is he ready for something even grosser?
Kings.
What? I still would be okay with getting Zach LaVine.
Oh yeah. Well,
would you?
I would be okay with Zach LaVine before we have all of these other guards and shoot guards. Like, I think Zach LaVine fit our team way more than Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Like, I probably would have taken Zach LaVine over Ja Morant.
I mean, dude, just solely, wow, I think I would have to. I really think, and I think that's going to make people vomit.
They're both flawed right now, and Ja's better, at least in theory. And they both don't play much because they get hurt.
But Zach LaVine shoots 45% from three.
Yeah, it's just exactly what we needed.
So, yeah, I completely agree that I think I would have rather taken Zach LaVine. That's going to make people unsubscribe from us. Yeah. It really will. And that's but I think they have equal issues.
I think they have equal value to this current team right now.
Yeah. But Zach LaVine's shooting would be too good to pass up. I agree. And sick, disgusting part of me, just based off the shooting and the excitement level alone. Because, dude, if Ja could shoot, I think I'd be on board.
Yeah.
But it just even with the bad defensive fit, I would at least be like, okay, that is a issue that we addressed by getting this guy. Because the issue is that we addressed nothing with the Ja move. We actually just created some on paper issues, even though I think Ja has potential to be a positive on this team without a doubt. But Zach LaVine stinks in a different way, but at least he would solve or severely help the shooting issue. So yeah, it's a tough situation to be in, but we're going to be fine. The Blazers are cool. So I'm going to keep believing that.
Well, that was our little bit of NBA news we got fed by Shams and Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul and Lucas Newton, Calvin Andrews.
Can I say one more thing about Shams? Have I told you how in 2K, when you're playing a game, you know how like the announcers will like have someone calling in?
They did that on 2K now?
They do in 2. It's like we have someone and then the way they do it for Shams is they're acting like Barack Obama is calling in. It is the craziest, or like Jordan is. He's like, do we have, oh my goodness, I think we do. Hold on, everybody. We have Shams on the line.
He's got like a theme song. Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. They introduce it like he's John Cena. When you come here next week, I have to show you it. It is so funny. They're not just, we have Shams right now with some news. It's, I kind of can't remember who does the announcing, but he pretends it's like a sudden thing. We do have them? We have them? Okay. And it's crazy. I don't know what hilarious. Shams is doing to build himself up as, but it's hilarious. I love that he's this like, I don't even know how to describe it, but he's like a media mogul.
This breaking all. He's the news god. He's an NBA god.
Yeah, it's awesome. What he's
prescribed as now.
Well, Woj would just like, he was dedicated to like the loser craft of this job, which I loved.
Yeah. Well, just for the people. He
was for the people.
Minimal words and pure timing and newsworthiness.
He understood that it's what they're doing is not cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Now they're all working. It's all a big circle jerk now.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's really what it is. Well, again, we bow down to Shams and suckle his notifications, the teat of his notifications. Because he gave us something in the middle of August, which is great to talk about. So Peyton Watson, not a Blazer. He's a Cleveland Cavalier. I think Nuggets are trending downwards, and that's at least something we can take away from this. Before we get out of here, I want to mention again that next week when Brad and I reunite as friends, shaking hands, pretend we're shaking hands and looking into the camera. While we reunite as friends, we will do our tradition of answering your guys' questions. in a full-length video. I think it's a great time for it. So if you're listening to this, drop a question you have for us in the comments. We will, again, those of you who are listening to the end of these videos will get your questions read first. We'll put out some other blasts about them in case you forget or in case other questions come about. But drop a question for us in this video. We would love to know it. On top of that, drop a like if you could. We really appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already so you can get ready and geared up for when Blazer basketball comes back to hear from Brad and I, your very, very wise, sacred insiders. We're like the Shams of the Blazers, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But sexier.
Sexier Shams of the Blazers.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to change our podcast to.
That's right.
Well, we appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you next time.